We are here to honor Yeshua. I have a message, of course, that's why I got up here. Again, we continue to talk about Israel. Are you Israel? You will be, if you are not, and you want to be a Gentile, that's fine. None of this stuff applies to you. Don't worry about it. You can do whatever you want. Unfortunately, there are consequences for that decision. So, Yahweh, open our eyes that we might see wonders from your word. Oh, cool. What does it say? Today, I want to talk about last week's reading, the Call of Moshe. Now, in chapter 3 of Exodus, not only does Yahweh tell Moshe what his name is, but he calls him to a ministry. That call and how it took place is very important. We might as well just stay up on the screen. Okay. Moses, was a prince of Egypt. That's what happened. He got found in a basket floating along and so on. You know the story. Moses lived in the palace of Pharaoh. He knew a lot of stuff. He was well educated in many things. Egyptian. He would also know a great deal about the rest of the world. And it's obvious that he knew a great deal about the Hebrews, the Hebrew people. He got kicked out of Egypt. Bummer. And he's now living out in Midian. Midian is kind of like out there. You know, there's not much out there. He's shepherding sheep. Kind of a big difference from being the prince of Egypt to a shepherd of somebody else's sheep. He gets over to this big old mountain, and he's shepherding the flock. He's kind of standing around. He's out there at what's called the back of the wilderness. Now, I'm not sure if that term means like, here's the wilderness, which isn't so cool. The back of the wilderness is way less cool than that. It's like out there. There's not much there, but enough for the sheep, I guess. So he comes to Horeb. That's what it's called, Horeb, of the mountain of Elohim. Har Elohim. By the way, Har, which is Hey Resh, means mountain. It's not Armageddon. It's Har Megiddo. This here is Har Elohim. While he's there, a bush, just a bush, is burning without being consumed. Now, I want you really put yourselves in the shoes of a very well-educated man out doing the sheep. Life has now been pretty good for quite a while. Pretty calm and everything. He's out by this big old mountain, and he sees something extremely unusual. This bush. What is he going to do? You're there, you're watching this. Suddenly this bush catches fire. He sees a burning bush on the mountain, and it says, and the messenger of Yahweh, I forgot to highlight that, messenger of Yahweh appeared to him in a flame of fire from the midst of a bush. And he looked and he saw the bush burning with fire, but it wasn't consumed. A messenger of Yahweh. I think King James uses the word angel. I'm not sure. Well, he says, he turns aside to see this great sight. When he does this, Yahweh saw that he turned aside to see, and Elohim called to him from the midst of the bush. Wait a minute. Stop. The messenger of Yahweh was in the midst of the bush. Yes? Did it say that? But now it's Yahweh that's inside in the midst of the bush. Does that mean Yahweh is the messenger, or was the messenger of Yahweh right then? In this instance, at that bush? Was he talking to Yeshua? Yeah. Think so? And the messenger said, or Yahweh said, Moshe, Moshe, and he said, Hineni, here I am. Yahweh didn't respond to Moshe until Moshe turned aside to see what was going on. He could have just run away. This is scary. Probably a lot. Now, we think of a bush, a little teeny thing. I don't really think that was a little bush. Personal opinion. And I think it was pretty good size. Because it was probably big enough to be seen from a long way off. We don't know how far he walked. But it was no small thing. It was seriously something big. He was not fearful of the thing before him. In verse 4 it says that Yahweh, Elohim, calls to Moshe from the middle of the bush. However, it is the messenger of Yahweh that is in the middle of the bush. Kind of making a point. In Genesis 18, let's go back to that term, messenger of Yahweh. Yahweh appeared, in Genesis 18, Yahweh appeared to Abraham by the oaks of Mamre. And that is the messenger of Yahweh that appeared to him. That's them three guys. And in Genesis 22, the messenger calls out to Abraham not to sacrifice Isaac. And the messenger of Yahweh is Yeshua. Why do I say that? Now, we've kind of said this before. Yahweh really doesn't set foot on earth. Yes, it's his footstool. That's a metaphorical statement. It's, he can't. If he sets foot on earth, we're cinder. Yeshua, on the other hand, can. Before the manger, Yeshua, before he was born, it's kind of a time travel sort of a paradox. But he can be here then, physically sticking his foot on this planet without destroying it. And that's why he is, we'll have to talk about that someday. Moses is at the burning bush. Now, this is an actual photograph, except the bush, I think, was bigger. Anyway, he's at the burning bush. The messenger of Yahweh appears to him. The burning bush was only to get his attention. Sometimes it's a 2x4 across the head. Attention. Please get that in your head. The messenger of Yahweh appearing in the bush was not the sign or the call. It was strictly the wake up. Hey, come over here, I want to talk to you. It was the phone ringing, if you want. So maybe somehow you should put on your cell phones the burning bush sound. The messenger of Yahweh is Yeshua. I'm firmly convinced of that based on a lot of looking at Scripture and based on the fact that I believe, and you, that Yeshua is Yahweh. They are one and the same. Verse 4 calls to Moses 2 times. Yahweh says, Moshe, Moshe. Vayadaber Yahweh, Moshe, Moshe. That's what it says in the book. When Yahweh calls somebody twice, a pastor said this, once? Ha! Lots of times, when he calls somebody twice, it's a sign of great love towards that person. For a fact. If he ever calls you twice, stop everything. Here I am. And he said, Hine ni. He didn't say, here I am. He said, Hine ni, and that means behold me, which is a lot more important, a lot louder, if you will. Here I am. It's behold me, see me. I am here at your call. When a person responds with Hine ni, they're stating to the caller that they're totally ready to hear the caller, I forgot to add that, and to carry out the will of the caller. If he says to you your name, especially if he says it twice, just say Hine ni and get ready. Because everything after that is going to be something serious. And to get his attention like that, quite frankly, those of us that have experienced it that's awesome. Really. When Yahweh calls us, do we respond with Hine ni? You don't have to. You can just say, what? Well, you can, whatever you do on your cell phone to not listen to the call, let it ring, let the answering machine get it. We don't have to do anything about it. Moses didn't. That's what he said, Hine ni. Try it yourself. He calls you. And I think our time is short. Yes. When he calls you, really, honestly, be ready for that call. Hine ni. It may be the last time. I think Pastor's going to address that slightly. Okay, now Yahweh gives Moshe his call to ministry, his commission, his command. Now, not the burning bush. Now he tells him what he's supposed to do. Now, come. I am sending you to Pharaoh to bring my people, the children of Israel, out of Egypt. Whoa, you are going to the king of the world, and you're going to tell him, let my people go. Yeah, sure. And he answers just like that. He's going to complain right off the bat. He recognizes that he really is pretty much of a nobody. He may have been Prince of Egypt, but he's a shepherd. Nobody wants to listen to him. Why Yahweh would choose him? And Moses said, who am I that I should go to Pharaoh and that I should bring the children of Israel out of Egypt? Moses recognizes his inability and sees the task set before him to be impossible in his own flesh. Totally, I can't do this. You just told me to move a Buick with my hands. Moses complains again to Yahweh in chapter 4 that he is unworthy to take such a task. Like Moses, we are all unable to accomplish all of the tasks set before us in our own flesh. Do we ask that question? Who am I that you should call me to do ministry? Everybody has ministry. It might be sitting and learning. It might be being a grandparent or a parent. It might be handing out food at the local food shelter. We don't know. And we think, well, this isn't very important. You want me to just hand out bread to people? I don't want to do that. I want to do something important. Well, to the people getting the bread, I wonder about that. If that's your lunch. Now, I know Pastor said this, and I definitely will tell you, I've asked this question over and over again. Who are you sending to do it? You want me to learn what? Hebrew? I can't even speak. I can't spell. And you want me to learn a whole nother language that doesn't even look like English? Whoa. In the movie, the actor portraying him gives this self-assured kind of a look. And we give the rest of the world this look. Oh, I'm fine. Don't worry about it. Man, I am the greatest. Janet was telling us about her little puppy. Her little puppy thinks he is the thing. He's the man. And that's what we do. Walk around, hey, look at me. Look at me. Everything's fine. And they don't realize we're falling apart inside. When Yahweh calls us and gives us a mighty task, such as this, you've got it too. Teach my people Ephraim about who I am and who they are. That's a task. Each one of us has to do that. It may just simply be answering a stupid question or a real good question from a friend or a relative. That's a big deal. They want to know. In verse 12, Yahweh answers Moshe, I will surely be with you. This is it. This is the sign, get it? The sign that he gets this commission. Okay? The sign is not, well, here's your badge of authority. Okay, this here piece of paper is your ordination to be a whatever. No, the sign is that you will lead the people out of Egypt and you will worship me on that mountain. Wait a minute, that's backwards. The sign is that to do the task is I will accomplish the task. What? That's us. What? The sign is that I'm going to teach this stuff? I don't even know it. Translated into modern English. Your sign is that you are doing my will and accomplishing the task that I have given to you to do, is that when you have accomplished the task I have given you to do, you will worship me here. The sign is we have to accomplish the task. Now, for us, I'm thinking, wait a minute. You know, we saw the movie. He got all those people out of Egypt. Is that what he's wanting us to do? I don't know. We're not going to get that kind of great spectacle happen where all those people are following us through the desert. We might teach a whole lot of people. We won't hear nothing from them for years. And then they'll show up one Sabbath and said, you know, back about 3 or 4 years ago, you said, what? Who are you again? And that happened a lot of times. So many times we fail to do the will of Yahweh because we're looking for a sign. We want the burning bush. We want the thunder and the lightning and all of the boom and the crashes and the roaring, and we want to get up and say to somebody whatever it is we're going to say, and they just fall over believing us, and everything is fine. And it don't happen. We're looking for a phone call. We're looking for an email. We're looking for something we can hold in our hand and say, in this notebook you wrote this. The burning bush was not the sign. The burning bush was to get his attention. And the sign was that Moses would complete the task. Whoa, Moses is fearful of his commission. This is good. If he tells you to do something, no matter how simple it is, and you're scared to death about it, you got it. That's good. If you think, nah, ain't no problem, man, I can handle this. He won't choose you anyway, because he doesn't want that. From verses 3:11 to 4:17, it appears that Moshe is completely unsure of the commission from Yahweh. He's looking at himself. He's saying, I don't even really speak their language very well. I'm out here in Midian speaking Aramaic. I learned whatever the Egyptians were speaking, a form of Arabic. And I'm not real good with this stuff, and it kind of sounds funny anyway when I say it. Who am I? Now that song, Who Am I? I love that. Who am I that I should go? Ask yourself, here's the song. The song said, who am I that Yahweh would have anything to do with me? Psalm 8, verse 4. What is man that you remember him? And the Son of Man that you visit him? Why did he bother dealing with Moses, a nobody essentially? Why did he deal with you, a nobody essentially? He didn't go to a Donald Trump to do that kind of a thing, a man well known and well established in the world. Psalm 144:3, Yahweh. I like this because it says, Yahweh, what is man that you should know him? We're really not as important as we think we are in the whole scheme of the rest of the universe. In Exodus 3:11, right there. Who am I? Me anoki, that I should go. Ki alech. Who am I? And you want me to go to Pharaoh? I'm scared thinking about it. You want me to go to President Trump and tell him, let my people go? You want me to go to whatever? I don't know. Yahweh continues to describe Moshe's mission and what will happen. And he's telling him, it's not going to work, man. You're going to go there, and I'm going to harden this guy's heart, and he ain't going to let you go. You're going to have to do some serious stuff, and he still ain't going to let you go. But he did. There they are. That's an actual picture of actually Moses. Moses continues his argument. Notice that he doesn't say they won't happen. He just says, I can't do that. The people won't believe him. I'm going to tell you, I've been doing this message stuff for 18 years now. I'll close her up on 19, I guess. And no, they don't believe me at all. And they don't listen. And I post messages back in the days before Facebook. I was on a lot of the, I guess you call them bulletin boards, if you know what those things were. They didn't listen. Argue with me? Whoa! Every one of them knows more than I ever did. Which is probably true if most of them know how to spell. But they're always complaining. He gives them some signs. He performs those signs. Moshe continues his complaining before Yahweh. Now, if you look at the story of Yahweh telling Moses his mission and Moses' complaining continuously, it is the longest textual description of such a thing. He has given his message or his commission to other people, and the actual amount of text is involved isn't very much. But this is a long story. Moses is the only guy that he allowed so much complaining out of. He should have just said, I'll get somebody else. Your brother will do it. And he was a terrible speaker, like I said. And he is a wuss. Now, none of us have ever complained like that before Yahweh, right? Moses knew that he was not good enough for the task. Yahweh selected him anyway. We've heard this before. Yahweh does not call the qualified. He qualifies the call. That is to show his power and glory and not our power and glory. He chose Donald Trump to be president of the United States because he's a capable man. If he had chosen one of us, now that would have been a real serious miracle because we're not capable of doing that job. We don't have the training, we don't have any experience at it, but that man does. That's why he was chosen. But he chose Moses instead of such a other man. When he calls you, be ready. I'm going to tell you it's not easy. And when he calls you, you're going to argue. You're going to complain. And you're going to sit there for weeks and months and maybe even years like I did, wondering, I can't do this stuff. It's outside of my ability. I have not got the inner strength. Well, yeah, he knew that. But he does.